What's going on, everyone? Today is day 25, the $500,000 challenge. It's been a great morning. If you're not part of the 5 a.m. club, I highly recommend it. I've been on and off, waking up at 4:30 and then get burnt out, and wake up at 4:30 and get burnt out. But whenever I'm in stride and kind of in alignment with who I want to be and who I'm working to, constantly become, the 5 a.m. club is a dramatic change to the productivity that I have every single day. I think I mentioned on Tuesdays and Thursdays I've got a 5 a.m. run group. Then I go straight from there to the gym. Usually get there at 6:30, then have a 45-minute to an hour workout, and then try to beat everybody into the office as well. I tell you, you have a morning like that and you just feel like you're on top of the world. Today, I've kind of talked about in previous videos what I think the importance is of, for one, surrounding yourself with people who are wanting to do the same thing or who are in the same space that you want to be involved in. And the second aspect of that is creating forcing functions and accountability groups in order to constantly be pushing you in that direction, especially if you've got a demanding life with a W-2 or kids or other responsibilities. But kind of the last piece, besides of course the hard work needed, and in between all these steps, is how often are you reviewing your goals? If you haven't read Traction, I highly recommend at least skimming it. If you don't have a team, I would still just skim it for your goal portions. But you need to be setting a 1-year goal. I really like the 1-year mark because I believe it is more tangible than a 10 or a 5 or a 3. Not that those aren't important more for steering, but just in terms of, okay, let's define exactly what we want in 1 year. You have to have extremely specific goals, or you're never going to accomplish anything. You're not going to know what you're even working towards. Like, your goal can't be, I want to make more money or I want to work less. You need to get really specific, such as in the next year or starting next year, a year from now, I want to work 20 hours a week, and here are the steps that I think I need to take in order to get to that goal. Then break it down into quarterly rocks, so quarterly milestones or checkpoints. It all means the same thing. And then from there, those are kind of, you get to each quarter, you review where you're at, and you adjust. You adjust your next quarter's coming up, you adjust your next weeks, because no plan goes perfect on its timing or its execution. But after you've done that, you need to be setting weekly goals, weekly things that you want to accomplish that are going to get you to those quarterly rocks. You need to be reviewing them on a weekly basis, and they need to be in front of you every single day. And that's something that I really struggle with. Is it's really easy to Ryan, Sam, and I will have a great Friday meeting. We'll define everything we need to accomplish our quarterly rock, which is to contract, close, renovate, and then sell or rent one house completely without us, fully with our team. And our problem is that we define that, and then we don't review it, and we end up in the next Friday meeting, we haven't taken steps to actually automate that business. So you need to be fully integrated, fully looking at those goals every single day, I would say. Otherwise, you'll just forget. And I know I've mentioned before as well that I'll set 1 to 3 most important items of the day. If you're important but not urgent, that is actually working towards those goals. That is what I call outside of the whirlwind, outside of just, if you walk into the office, your team immediately needs 10 things from you. And so it's a way to actually make progress on those items that are actually driving your business forward in the year perspective, not the daily perspective. And the last thing is everyone says you need 7 different streams of income, or every millionaire has 7 different streams. I don't know what the exact quote is, but everyone's heard something similar to that. You need to be extremely focused on one thing at a time. If you were stranded on an island and you had to get to safety, you had to get back to civilization, would you focus all your effort on building 2 different bridges in 2 different directions? Or would you pick one and focus solely on that until you realize that it just was not the right direction to go? Which sometimes does happen. But the point is, focus on one thing, but be extremely specific about it. And once you fully accomplish that. And of course, there are going to be future tweaks. Once you get to a point where you can really stop and the process starts without you, all right, then you can branch off. Then you can, instead of saying, I'm going to start a wholesaling business and a flipping business, well, a lot of the components are the same. Like, that's a great spin-off once you do one or the other, but you shouldn't do both at the same time. Like, focus on one, get the bridge completely built to where it can pretty much go with extremely minimal input from you, and then focus on the other thing. And of course, I'm talking about this like it happens overnight and it takes years to just build one bridge. But it's still really important not to be doing a bunch of different things at one time. Get really good at one and then do a spin-off that's closely related within the same field. So that's my tidbits for today. Hope everybody enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow, and we've only got 4 days left of the $500,000 challenge.